Alright, hello those, for Chikey's thread, this is made for you, and specifically anybody else who wants to know how to use the playlist, the in-game music player actually, in the APB. The way you're going to access this is either hitting escape and clicking music player here, or pressing P on your keyboard, and you'll get up into this area. You see I have music library. I'll show you this. You can search up any name once you have the music on there. So if you want to search up a song, it'll search it for name, album, and artist. So if you've got Where Will, or we can actually search up Will, and it's going to bring up where in these names or where in the albums or whatnot. It's actually very good to import your music. You see I have quite a bit here. You're going to click add, and then you won't instantly take you to the directory that you want to be in, but you're going to click the button right here. If my cursor doesn't show up, sorry, Fraps doesn't want to record it. I know I've checked that option for it, but it refuses to make my cursor come up. You're going to click this button to make you go back until it brings you to your main directories. If you were to go into computer, now you would go where your music is, and specifically you do as I did. Well, not do as I did, but I mean, go to your music folder, and then you basically select the folders that you want to use for your music. And here's one more thing for this. If you know, you can hit that, click one of them and click OK, or you can hold Control and click on the names, and you can highlight them and bring them up all together. Now let me add something else here. Something I want to add. Alright, if I wanted that, I already have that added. Oh well. Well, once you have your music, that album on there, you're going to click Start Import, and Start Import will start importing your music into the game. Note, they must be MP3s for them to work properly. It's just some guy over there. I'll move over here. It will lag up your game a little bit while it's importing, so I suggest you not doing this while in missions. Do this while you're in social and whatnot. You can check on its progress. It'll be doing so. If you want to stop the import, you can click this button here, and it'll stop the import. It'll clear up. And when you have your music on there, whenever you have new tracks, it'll identify them and just throw them on there. Now, as of the old way, APB used to detect music to hear it in other people's cars. They somewhat fixed it very well. If the said person in their car has the same exact song as you, and they are listening to that song, you will hear it. But by default, anyone driving around you, you will only hear your music. You won't hear the song that you're listening to. It'll just hear music from your library in other people's cars. Just because it has a green check on it doesn't mean everyone else can hear it. So some people have had that misconception of that, so don't think that. You can have removed tracks, and you can, you know, it keeps it there. It's just basically a directory file, from what I can guess. It just saves it there and flags it whether you want it in your library or not. So you can either wipe track from it, wipe all from library, add to library, add all to library. This is basically a recycling bin. And for your settings in the music player, you'd click this to play your music on foot, and when you click that, it turns it off. There's also another glitch that I know of. I'm not sure how it happens, but when it does, your music will be playing, and music playback when on foot will be enabled, but the music won't play. So what you're going to do is just turn the apply environment filter off, and it'll work. It's a weird glitch that I've encountered. For this broadcaster vehicle stereo to other players, When you're listening to music, you can turn this on and off whether or not you want music to play to other people, play around other people. So like if you were at like a little race meeting and you didn't want your music to bother anybody, you just click that and you'd hear your music, but no feedback would go into their computer and they wouldn't hear anything. Apply environment filter to playback. When you are inside a vehicle, there's a special sound filter that goes over, so it sounds like the music is inside the car. When you turn it off, it will sound like this, just pure as it is. Automatically start previous playlist on a song on login. What this will do is that the last song you were listening to, when you come out of the game, it will start playing that song from there. So let's say if you were listening to this Pyramid is the World's Greatest something by Renard, and I were to log out right now, when I would log back in the next day with my computer turned off and then turned back on, this would be the song that would be playing. Remember volume loop and random settings. That's just if you wanted to remember whether you have shuffle on your loop, your entire loop, or your continuation of one go, or whatever, how you call that. Removing tracks, store remove tracks within the remove tracks list. You can either have that as a fail, check this to keep it like a fail-safe kind of, so in case you removed a track, you can go back to your remove tracks and resurrect it or bring it back. See, when you click this, this is a special option, so if you were to remove a song from the list, it would remove it completely if you had this checked, but if you had this checked, it would actually just bring it here. If you have problems with your music library where you would go into the next song and then the music player would stop, that's because a music file is missing from your computer. And if you're encountering that a lot, remember which folders that you picked for your music and reset to default library. If you have playlists, those playlists will go away. So if you want to avoid all of the thing where it turns off your music player because of the file missing or being its directory was changed, do that and go through and make your playlist again. Music player HUD, display track changes on the HUD. That's when, say for instance here, what that does is that when you change a song by hitting that bracket key above enter, you can go left and right of it and go to the next song. Another tip about hotkeys for this, if you hold shift and hit either of those bracket keys, it'll change your volume. And if you don't know already to make your music play, you can hit the button that is right above enter. But it isn't the bracket one, it's on the right of the bracket keys. I don't know what it's called. I mean, you've got your volume adjustment, stop, play, next track, previous track, your shuffle, continuous, loop, no loop, and loop track. There's music that's already in the game, so you can go with that there and listen to that. If you want to get rid of a song from the game, you can, from your own music, you can actually drag it into remove tracks as if you were, dragging it there. Or you can click the trash can icon and, oh my goodness, no, I want that back, I want that back, I want that back, I want that back. Okay, you would, if you wanted to change the name, album, or artist, you could click the gear here and you could change the name from there. If you're very, speed on about, the settings for your music and whatever.